Okay, hi there. Today I'm going to be looking at Box and Whisker plots. And a quick thing about Box and Whisker plots, this is a common one. It's a way of looking at data, and it's a not very specific way, or I should say maybe it's so specific that there's stuff that you can't read. Um, it breaks up the data into four parts, okay? It does medians over and over again, really. I'll show you more about that in a minute, but it tells me that 25% of my data falls between those numbers between 50 and 100 in this case. It tells me that 25% falls between 40 and 50 of whatever this happens to be, which I didn't even say, and 25% fall between there and there with 10 and 20, and last but not least 25% fall between 20 and 40, all right? So it's called the box and whisker because it's got boxes, and these things here are the whiskers. That's why it's called that. But it breaks up your data like that into quartiles is what it's called. Quarters, really. Quarters for quartiles. So it's 25% for each, which means the median would be right down the middle there where this line is. I'll make it a green line. That's that right there. That black line in the middle, that's the median, okay? And I'm going to get more into this right now. So I wrote down a couple questions. What's the median of the data? Well, the median would be that line right there in the middle of the box, or it's not always in the middle, but it's rough. This one happens to be close, which means that's 40, okay? 40 whatever. I didn't specify what this data is. It could be test scores, hopefully not test scores if the median's of 40, but anyway, you get my idea. What's the maximum and the minimum? The maximum will be the biggest number of the data, which I can tell you right now is that one at the end of the whisker, which would be 100. The minimum would be the smallest one, which would be down at that end, which is 10. So the maximum is did I say 100? Yeah, 100. And the minimum is the 10, all right? So there's the biggest number and the smallest number. And it says, what's the first quartile? The first quartile will be this number right here, which in this case is 20, all right? And we'll get more into how you calculate that in a little bit. But that's that one right there. First quartile is 20, and the third quartile will be the other end of the box, which is 50, okay? So that's 50. All right, so there's some basics with it, okay? Now I'm going to take this bunch of data right here. The question says, what is the minimum, the first quartile, the median, the third quartile for the data? All right, and I got some pieces of data here. So it's all about median, all right? And median, if you've forgotten, is middle number, okay? The middle number. Okay, not the average. You don't add them up and divide by how many. That's mean. That's totally different. We don't use that at all with this, okay? So median's a middle number, which means I'm going to go put these in order, okay? I'm going to rearrange them, and I want them to go from smallest to biggest. So I'm going to go 75 is the smallest, and then I got 80, and then I got 125, and then I have 126, and then I have 135, and I already did these out. I'd probably take a little more time and show you, but I'm sure you all can order numbers from least to greatest. Okay, so there they are. The median. So I got, let's see, I got 4 over here, and I got 4 over here, which means my middle number, there's no middle one. Like if this was an odd number of pieces of data, there would be 1 in the middle, In this case, I got 4 on each side. So my median is going to be, maybe I should keep those there. There we go. All right, my median is going to be the average of the 2 middle ones because there's 2 in the middle. So my median will be 126 plus 135 divided by 2, okay? And when you punch that into your calculator, you get 130.5 equals the median. Okay, so there's my middle of the box. All right, we'll get to making a box and whisker in a little bit. Q1 is the first quartile, which means I'm going to take the middle number of these numbers right here. Change over to purple for a second there for Q1. Might make this easier. I'm looking for the median of the first half of the data. All right, what's the median of these four numbers? Well, once again, I got the 2 in the middle, so I'm going to go 80 plus 125 and divide by 2. And when you do that, you get 102.5 will be Q1, okay? All right, now Q3 is going to be the median of the top half of the data, okay? In this case, it's orange here. This one's nice, so I like this one. Q3 is the median of this half of the data, the top half, which means there's two numbers in the middle, but the nice thing is they're the same, which means if you add 140 plus 140 and divide by 2, you get 140. Obviously, the Q3 will be 140, okay? So you don't have to average two numbers that are the same because it's just that, okay? All right, next. I need the maximum and the minimum. This is nice and easy. The minimum is the smallest number in the data. The maximum will be the biggest number in the data. I shouldn't use blue. I already got that going. Green. My maximum, okay? So I'm going to write down these, I got these numbers written down right here. And now I'm going to make a box and whisker plot, okay? I need my box and whisker plot, and I'm not going to be exact with this at all. I'm sure if you look at a MCAS test or something else, that'll be, I got other ones that are much nicer and neater. I need it to go from 75, and I need it to go up to like 350. And I'm not going to be perfect with this at all. I know I'm also going to need the 102.5, so I'm just going to put it here, okay, ballpark. This can be 130.5. I need 140 also. Okay, so I'm just going to list my number lines. You could do a much better number line than that. You get the idea. So when I make my box and whisker next, I'm going to put, sometimes I have a dot there. This will be the whisker. It'll go up to there. The other whisker goes on the right side and starts at 350 and it'll go down to the 140, which is the Q3. Okay, so I'm using these numbers here so far, all right? And then between Q1 and Q3 is the box, okay? So between the 102 and the 140, I'm going to make my box here, okay? This is the box, and I'm going to connect them. And then down the median goes that middle line, okay? So I can tell exactly where the halfway point of that data is. So there's 50% above 130.5 and there's 50% below 130.5. And that's your box and whisker, okay? So that is that one. All right, I'm going to have you try a quick you try. Okay, so number 7, I'm going to have you try. I want you to find the maximum, the minimum, the median, Q1, and Q3, then make a box and whisker for the data, and I just gave you 6 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you can take those 6 numbers, the first 6 numbers, and do a box and whisker for me. Find the median, find the first quartile, the third quartile, the maximum, the minimum, and quick draw it on a number line with a box and whisker, okay? And that will be your you try. Okay, and with that, I'm going to close it out with a little bit more music. Have a great night.